Hello people, this is a video to those of you who don't realise what intersex actually means, because I've been seeing a few videos of people who are obviously quite confused as to what an intersex being would be, and there's a lot of people trying to categorise people who think they're intersex into a category of another, such as DSD category instead of intersex. And simply I have to put them straight, even though they think they're completely right, because medical science books will tell you what is and isn't, but of course anything a medical science book tells you is and is, I will probably say it is and isn't. Not everything, but certainly intersex, the label intersex and the definition of intersex is an extremely important point to make here. Me as an XXY, technically speaking, you would say that I have got an extra female chromosome because X is considered to be female and Y is considered to be male. Yet, the thing that will break all your reasonings here, medical science people, is that there are XX males out there and there are XY females out there. Okay? So, chromosomes and the X and the Y, and this belief that the X is female and the Y is male, I think medical people should go back and study that whole thing again and take apart all the cells, and you know, in science they take everything to pieces and then put it all back together again and think that they've understood it. I think that any person with chromosomes of numerous amounts of X's or numerous amounts of Y's does not make up, depending on how many, if there's more Y chromosomes in their genetic structure, then that doesn't mean that they're going to be more male. In fact, some statistic that I would agree with is that the more sorry, the antivirus thing came up there, yeah, just the more chromosomes you have on top of the normal 2 chromosomes, if you've got more than 2 chromosomes, you'll generally got issues with aggression, and that is a statistic, definitely. But this business of if you've got loads of Y chromosomes and only 1 X chromosome, that means you're going to be more male. No, unless you're considering that male is essentially aggressive, which it technically is, and definitely female is much more sensitive than male is in general, yes. But I don't mind using the categories male and female to describe personalities and characteristics, but certainly not people. In this day and age, it's impossible to put anybody into a simple male or female bracket. That's a fact. I mean, it is a fact, people. If it's not written down in the medical science books, that doesn't mean that it's not fact. This is so. You know, it is a slight war. Me and anybody else who thinks like me, which there are very few people, but me, you know, versus the established medical community. Now, this is the medical community that wasn't able to diagnose me with most of the problems that I had in my life. They categorized me with all sorts of other things that they thought were me. So this is why I don't have very much faith in doctors and medical professionals. You know, because they weren't able to diagnose me well with many things. And you know, if well, I have to say it again, if my mother wasn't so knowledgeable on people and conditions and all sorts of illnesses and stuff, well then, you know, I would have ended up taking drugs for all sorts of things that I actually never had. One thing that I don't have is bipolar syndrome, and also I don't have ADHD. I just have attention and concentration problems, which does not mean that I'm ADHD. I have attention problems, yes, so AD. I might have AD, but I don't have HD. I don't have hyperactivity disorder. I mean, it's hard to, prove that, and it's hard to prove that wrong, because, my line of work is entertainment. I mean, most celebrities you'll hear are labelled as borderline. Again, another horrible wording for human brain to digest and use it for themselves. To call themselves borderline is absolutely, it's looking for suicide. That is, so I think these words are really, really wrongly made up. Borderline and bipolar. What do they all suggest to the brain? That you're imbalanced completely and you're fucked. That's wrong. That's wrong from the medical community. They shouldn't be using names like that. Even manic depression. Horrible word. Horrible word. Horrible for you to admit that to yourself. Oh, I am manic depressive. Oh, I am bipolar, And medical community people don't get that in general. The medical community people that I have huge respect for are the ones that are able to use complementary medicine within their own medical thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, so if you don't know what I mean, because I wasn't said well, but use complementary medicine and also the traditional medicine as well of the Western society, not the Eastern, the Chinese medicine, even though you should use that more than you use the Western one, but fair enough. Combinations, using drug combinations, basically. And drugs, I don't mean pharmaceutical drugs, I mean even natural herbal drugs. The intersex thing is a touchy one. There goes my doorbell, that's probably for me. It's a touchy one. And basically, I want to say to people that intersex incorporates a lot more human beings than the medical people will want to have said out vocally. But of course, I'm the sort of person to say these things. I must get my door now. Ciao.